Hey everybody, Roland Frasier here with another episode of the Business Lunch Podcast. And today I have a good friend for a few years now and our fellow member of our mastermind. His company's been on the Inc. fastest growing. I'm going to let him tell you where it is on the list. And his name is Aleric.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on here, Roland. I'm really excited to dive in. And I'm excited. Thank you.
And I think I may have neglected to mention your company. Do you want to give a shout out for your company here real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's Ad Outreach. We help businesses with YouTube ads, training them in YouTube ads, video marketing, how to scale to that next level using video. And we were number 87 on the Inc. 5000. And we're an 8-figure company and growing fast.
That is awesome. That's pretty good. In the top 100. I got to like that, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Now we've talked about a whole bunch of stuff that I think is fun, but one thing in particular that you mentioned as we were kind of chatting before we came live here is that you're about to complete your first acquisition. I know we had kind of taken a run at a SaaS company before and kind of had a deal and then it fell out, but let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that's really exciting, and the ink's about to fully dry on it. It's actually going to be fully finalized here. We've had all the lawyers do all the different things. And so this first one is actually more asset-based. So there was one of our clients that is in the space that we're in, but not so much on helping people with YouTube ads, but helping people grow businesses, especially info-based businesses, coaching, consulting type businesses. They had used our strategies with YouTube ads, scaled that up. They, like many of us, had multiple different businesses they were doing. And so they're actually going more the SaaS route, going more the tech route, leaving the info business. And they came to me with the ability to potentially acquire their business. When I looked at it, I realized I was less interested in the IP or the domain name. And so some of the different things that they were excited about, but they can actually sell separately. Other people are actually potentially interested in that. But what I was interested in is the list that they had built up in the Facebook group. And so I am about to fully complete that acquisition. We've already done all the deposits, the initial paperwork. And now we're going to be signing the full-on transfer, sending the rest of the funds and everything. But the thing I'm really excited about with this is the first of what's going to be many acquisitions that we're looking to do, because this one we are doing, and I mentioned to you earlier, I know your big thing is the $0 down, and that's what I'm going to be going to for the second and future acquisitions. But with this one, we're doing cash to build out the SOPs to kind of start the first one to realize, okay, what's the value of this? Create a case study. And I'm happy to get a little bit into some of what we're gonna do at the future ones. But basically, we've got an email list. It's got about 17,000 of our core clientele. These are all people who have courses, coaches, consultants, info, e-learning businesses that have been looking to grow. They have done $2.5 million to this list already, in revenue themselves. And so we know that what they were teaching is different than us helping people with YouTube ads. So they're kind of helping people build their course, get into that spot where they have, or consulting or offer, like helping them grow a little bit more organically. And then if we can help them then with YouTube ads as the next step, it's a perfect fit. And so we're acquiring this for a good rate that we both really like. They weren't doing much with the list, or they weren't going to do much with the list, but we're going to be able to leverage it. They know we're going to take care of them. But what I'm excited about is the future idea, which is I'm going to use this to leverage future $0 down deals where I can go to different business owners that are, especially right now, we're going to be in a time of a lot of opportunity. There's going to be business owners that are looking to leave the space. And what I want to say to them is, as you say, right, it's either price or terms. And what I found with this is, for this, we actually went on their terms, but our price. But what I want to do is flip it. I want to do my terms, their price. So if somebody wants a bigger amount for their list, say, okay, we can do that, but let's do $0 down. Let me email to your list first. And then as we make back out, let's say it's a $50,000 acquisition or whatever. Whatever we make back out, the first $50,000 goes to you. Upon the $50,000, it gets transferred to me.
Love it.
If we don't make that amount, then let's say we only make 25. We try, can't do it. Then you get to keep the list, keep the 25,000, but we don't have to pay extra money for a list that doesn't work out to us. So I'm using this as a case study to show that we can do it, that we can extract value as a cash deal. And then I want to leverage this for $0 down deals.
I love that. So you talked about the law of price and terms, which is if it's their price, then it is your terms. But if it is, if you are getting to dictate the price and the price is lower, it's probably their terms, which is usually we want all cash, right? So that's cool. I think that's really, really great. And then what you talked about, the way that you're talking about financing this is one of our 221 ways of doing it, which is revenue-based financing. And so you're basically saying, as the revenue comes in, we will give that revenue, 100% of it, you're saying, to them, so that basically it covers funding the deal. And then if there's no revenue, then you just don't do the deal, right? So you're safe, 100% protected, no matter what. The one thing I wanted to ask you is, so when you're acquiring this list, how will it be delivered to you? Is it just going to be like a file with a bunch of names, or how are you getting the list?
So in this case, we're taking over the active campaign account. So we're taking over billing and ownership, which is ideal. And this one, it was very much, we dictated, price. It was their terms. So it was all cash deal, upon receiving it. We're going to flip that for future ones. The idea in the future is we get to come in and, just get kind of guest access to their active campaign, their HubSpot, whatever they're using, send out those emails. And then it's a win-win on both sides, because there's really eliminates risk other than, let's say, time for both of us, but it eliminates monetary risk for both sides, the list owner and ourselves.
That's great. And so it's so important to do it that way, because otherwise, like if you just get a bunch of emails, then you've got to worm it all up again, and new accounts and new IP servers and migrations. And it's just, you lose typically 60 to 80% plus of the list just goes away. So I'm really happy to hear that you're doing that way. And then you also acquired a Facebook group.
Yes, a Facebook group as well, which is exciting. And then we're going to be able to, and for that, we're going to keep some of the existing branding, but we're also going to have a rebrand on the end. And we're going to pair that into one of our other offerings that we're really looking to grow. So YouTube ads is the big, key offer that we've had, scale that to over $1 million a month. But we also have another offer that right now is, in that, let's say $150,000 a month territory that we're looking to scale to be another $1 million a month plus offer, which is video clients, helping businesses use organic video to scale their business on YouTube, also Facebook video, Instagram, LinkedIn, even TikTok video. And that business, and we've got some incredible coaches, not just myself. We've brought in amazing, people onto our team, which I know is something you're a big advocate for. Bring incredible people onto the team and then have them help build out like sectors. And so this is actually going to allow us to acquire a Facebook group that has about 5,000 people that are looking to organically grow. And we're going to kind of rebrand that into our group. And so there's the list is probably going to be more beneficial for our YouTube ads offer, because we can say, okay, you've already done this. Now let's do YouTube ads. But the group, we're just going to be able to rebrand. They were already teaching organic strategies. Now we're going to have organic strategies be taught.
That's great. That's awesome. So now, speaking of this, you've got all these great strategies. Would you mind sharing a little bit of like what you see going on in video right now, and what are the things that people could do to get the most out of everybody? That ever since I met you and I introduced you all to the mastermind folks I know, and they're all like, we got to have Aleric. He's amazing. So I'd love to share some of your genius with our audience, if you could.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the big thing that I've really known for a long time is YouTube ads. And this is something I've been doing, YouTube ads for over 8 years, but I've been on YouTube for over 13 years. I started in 2009. I was 12 at the time. I created a YouTube channel. I was reviewing mobile apps, doing tech tutorials. People started watching it. The channel grew. It, has 500,000 subscribers today. So it, grew over time. I've got a small team that manages it. I kind of turned that into the 4-hour work week. And it actually funds my entire lifestyle, my rent, my food, any travel I pay for personally. All that's paid for by my first, business that I pulled myself out of. But that business, the YouTube channel that I created, it showed me and introduced me to the world of YouTube ads. And so about 8 years ago, I had, some of the different sponsors of the YouTube channel. They would have me post videos. People would start watching them. And one day there was one particular app, because it was like an app review channel. So a lot of people would sponsor us. There's one particular app, it was like a social media networking app. They said, hey, can we get this video in front of more people. You posted it, we've got lots of downloads. And I said, well, what if we run a YouTube ad? And so, at the time, this was 8 years ago, we took that video, we ran a YouTube ad, and for just $500 in spend, we get them 11,000 users. So they're now blown away. They're like, this is amazing. They tell their friends, who tell their friends, who tell that. And so then soon enough, I was helping a lot of different businesses with YouTube ads. And then it kind of transformed into what it is today, where I joined my first mastermind. I started to, help businesses with YouTube ads, teach YouTube ads, especially with a lot of people on Facebook. And something that to answer your question, something I've been saying for a long time, just that gives a little bit of background for anybody listening who maybe
it's super
doesn't know
cool
where I come from.
Yeah.
What I've seen for a long time is the shift to video. Video works so well. And if you can get in front of somebody, it's not just about getting in front of the right person, it's getting in front of the right person at the right time. And one of the problems on Facebook, and again, Facebook works. We know Facebook works, but it's getting more and more expensive. And one of the reasons it's more volatile is the algorithm has to guess what's the right time to show this ad in front of somebody.
Right.
On YouTube, we have intent. So we use something called 3D YouTube ads targeting. And this is something that's unique because, on Facebook, you target, let's say, demographics. So, roughly like age, different demographic details. Maybe you try income, although that's more zip code. It's not as good on Facebook as on YouTube, but you do that.
Right.
Then you layer it with who is this person? What are they interested in? What do they like? What are the pages they like? But what you're missing is the intent, the time.
Yeah.
People go to YouTube and they kind of repeat the same process. They do one of two things. They either do similar targeting to what they've known on Facebook. So they go on YouTube and they target demographics, and then they target audiences. So maybe it's like an audience around, let's say it's a weight loss example, people who are looking to lose weight. They build an audience around that. But then they're not necessarily reaching people at the right time. They could be watching a totally different video. Or what they do is they only target the videos. But what happens if you reach somebody at the right time? They might be in the demographics that they can buy it. So you can add in household income, certain geographies. But if they're not the right person, you're going to get window shoppers, right? They're in the store, they can afford it, or they're in the demographics, but they're not actually the right person. So they're not going to actually take action and invest. And so what we've found is the biggest key to YouTube ads, and this is the biggest secret to our success. We've now helped our clients generate over $200 million in revenue with YouTube using these strategies, is 3D targeting, layering the demographics, right? Is who somebody is. And one big component of that is household income. It works really well on Google and YouTube. Unlike Facebook, where it's all based more on on zip codes, YouTube and Google, it's based around who you are. So it's based on your actual usage of Google, what they know about you, not just Google, but YouTube. And then also
you can still target income even after all the privacy challenges and everything.
Yes, you can.
That's awesome.
You can. Yeah.
Okay.
So not in Europe. So Europe has some restrictions with the GDPR stuff, and some of the EU. But here in the States, you can still target household income, and it's very accurate. And we have some clients just targeting top 10% household income, and it's some of the most qualified leads you'll see because Google has pretty good accuracy to know where people are. So it's great. So it's basically audiences. So creating custom affinity audiences, creating custom URLs, custom intent. So who is this person? So you can actually create audiences in YouTube the same way you can do it on Facebook. You can put in interests. What are people in the market for? You can put in URLs, and then layering it on the other side with your actual intent-based targeting. And that's the video targeting. So it's demographics, audiences, and intent. The intent side, this is what videos are they watching, right? What keywords are on the videos that they're watching. Maybe there's topics of selections of videos. So you're reaching the right person based on who they are, the audiences. You're layering it with their ability to buy, which is the demographics, right? So household income, are they in the right geographic region, age, all that stuff. And then layering it with, are you reaching them at the right time? That's the intent. That's the video targeting. So reaching the right person with the ability to buy at the right time. And that's where you reach your ideal clients.
That's awesome. And are you also working on other video platforms like TikTok or anything like that?
Yes, so we are doing that. So we have other platforms as well. What we have found is that YouTube is unique because it is the platform where you can do 3D targeting. And the reason it doesn't really work on Facebook and TikTok, and we actually are seeing TikTok take off, but it's not to the same caliber of YouTube. And the reason for that is YouTube is also a search engine. People are.
I was going to say it's still the second largest, right?
Exactly, it's the second largest search engine after Google. So people are looking up. If they're looking up, how to lose weight or watching a video on that, and you have a weight loss offer, you can get your video in front of them. If they're looking up how to grow my business, marketing, whatever it happens to be, you can get your video in front of them, reaching them at the right time. Versus if you're marketing on Facebook and you're in the feed, or you're on TikTok and you're in the feed, you can reach the right person, and there are great tools to reach the right person. But in terms of direct response, reaching at the right time is essential. And that's one thing that YouTube has really mastered. So YouTube's our core focus. It's what we're known for. We don't want to water that down by saying, hey, we know these other things. But we also have an emphasis on what I call omnipresent retargeting, being everywhere.
Yeah, and you've done that. I think there was something you were saying that you did that, like when you wanted to kind of get your brand out there. Would you share that story a little bit?
Yeah. So one of the big things that we've done, and I did a presentation at one of the war rooms on this, is I did a whole omnipresent retargeting campaign. So when people come in on YouTube, so they see us with YouTube ads, we practice what we preach. So where we're running YouTube ads, everywhere consistently, like $250,000 plus a month of just these YouTube ads bringing people in, right? But then what we're doing is, once people come into our ecosystem, we want to do omnipresent retargeting everywhere. And so I had this funny campaign that I created. It's like, well, people know me as the YouTube ads person. What if I run ads on Facebook and on TikTok and on LinkedIn, these other platforms, and I say, hey, bet you didn't expect to see me here, but I want to be omnipresent. I want to be everywhere, and remind you that you can book your strategy call to speak with me. And that campaign, that omnipresent campaign was incredibly profitable for us. And it added some humor to the brand. And so I think that's what you're referencing. We went everywhere and used a funny line. Because some of our team members would say, hey, aren't people going to be confused if you're known as the YouTube ads person, but now you're going out and you're, being everywhere. Now people know it's not just YouTube ads, but omnipresent retargeting. We're looking to have people know us about, video marketing as well. And working on a book around like all things video marketing. And so very excited about that. But at the time it was like YouTube ads. And I told my team, well, this is exactly what we need to lean in on. We need to joke around about it. We need to, squash that objection at the beginning and say, hey, bet you didn't expect to see me here, but I want to remind you everywhere. And when I saw the success of that, I realized, wait a second, this is something I can help clients with. So now a lot of our clients that come to us for YouTube ads help, we then help them learn how to do omnipresent retargeting so that they can also be everywhere. And then also having banner ads everywhere. Just being seen everywhere, which is great.
That's really great. What are you most excited about right now with all the things that are going on? Because there's quite a few things that are evolving in the market right now, with CPAs going up and privacy concerns and things like that. A lot of people that used to be able to market in places like Facebook and Instagram can't now because the ROI doesn't work out because of some of the targeting limitations. What are you doing to help your clients with that kind of stuff and those challenges? And also, I want you to do 2 in 1. What are the things that you're most excited about?
So what we're doing to help our clients with this honestly is what I've been saying for a long time. People are seeing the need for 3-dimensional targeting for that intent component, because if you're reaching the right person with the ability to invest, that used to be good when the CPMs were lower, the costs were lower, because then you could just, scatter people's Facebook feeds or, and nowadays like TikTok and these other platforms with ads, or Instagram, right, with ads. And then, occasionally you're going to reach somebody at the right time and it's going to convert, but because CPMs are lower. Now it's so important to layer. I actually had this argument several years ago, and in all good, like kind of a debate, right? Not an argument, debate. I had a good debate with another marketer that was basically saying, hey, you're really targeting people, right? Like doing 3D targeting, like you're layering. Why wouldn't you just do broader targeting? Wouldn't you get, you'd reach more people? And I said, and what I told them is, I want to be as efficient as possible with my spend and reach the most qualified people, reaching the right person, with the ability to invest at the right time, layering them. And not only, and at the time, more of the argument was this is what helps a lot of our, a lot of clients that we have come in, they want every dollar to count. And so one of the challenges, a lot of agencies, they'll just do very, very broad targeting. And then they almost do this kind of narrow down approach. They'll test a ton of stuff and then they'll narrow in on what works. We like to actually start more narrow, be more efficient at the beginning, more layered, and then branch off. But not just branch off like this. It's like a tree. As we see what works, so we see, okay, we launched this campaign with this layering. Okay, great. This audience is working. This type of video targeting or keyword is working. Let's test more keywords based on that. So now we create a tree branch. Then we create another tree branch. Okay, let's test other audiences or other targeting based on that. And now we're creating these tree branches with new campaigns that are all layered, but they're different. And so one of the things, to answer your question, just to make sure I answer it correctly, to answer your question, one of the things that one of the problems people have had is on other platforms that aren't intent-based, but even on YouTube or Google, people just targeting very, very broad. The thing that I think has worked really well for us has historically, but now more than ever works really well for our clients, is layering from day one and actually doing what Google has intended is to really layer and target, this is my ideal client, because then, even if you have less shots, right? Because maybe CPMs are higher, you at least know you're shooting at the right target.
Right. That makes sense. That's really cool. And so does that also the thing that you're most excited about, or is there some new development or developments that you see that, or old ones that you found how to exploit better that you like, that kind of gets you fired up right now?
So on the YouTube side, I'll give a couple quick answers to that. On the YouTube side, because there's a lot of things, I'm constantly diving in. I'm very, very excited.
I know. That's why I'm curious.
Well, thank you. So on the YouTube side, VACs, right, which is the video action campaigns or responsive ads on YouTube. This is different than what existed before. So this is merging the in-feed ads with the existing YouTube in-stream. So in-stream are ads that appear in front of other videos. And those are kind of the classic ads. Everybody knows them. You go on YouTube, you watch an ad video, in front of it is an ad. Now they've merged this with these in-feed ads. So now if you're scrolling on YouTube on your phone, the ads pop up and they start to play. If you're watching a video, ads will appear on the suggested side. Now, this has happened in the past, by the way, so this isn't brand new, but what YouTube has done is they've now merged these together into what are the new type of main YouTube ads, these VACs, video action campaigns, that basically take all the inventory YouTube has to offer, the in-stream inventory, and also all the inventory alongside other videos in the home feed. And it's basically the switch to add even more inventory on YouTube. And the thing is, if you don't set this up the right way, it can harm you. And the reason for that is now people can actually see the video that you published on YouTube. So if they click on the video, they can now watch it. And if it's an unlisted video and you just have the title be, ad number 7, right? They click on that and it's not the best user experience. So some people actually run into problems with that. And I think I love Google. I love YouTube. They don't roll things out really well. And that's one of the reasons that we exist, is to train people and help people. And so we've been 9 months ago when this was starting to come out, we had a checklist ready. We're like, here's what you need to do, helping our clients. And we've actually published some free resources on this as well. Actually, at War Room recently, I gave a presentation. I said, here's the top 5 things you need to do with VACs. But we have free resources on our site and everything. But with that, the VAC campaigns, what we have found, when you set them up the right way, you add the right title, you actually add thumbnails, you optimize the video, we're seeing 20 to 25% increase in conversions.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you obviously have way more to share and help people with than we could possibly talk about here. What are the best ways to get a hold of you, and who are the ideal people that you would like to help?
Absolutely. So some of the best ways is, of course, on adoutreach.com, ADOUTREACH.com, and adoutreach.com/apply. That's where people can book a strategy call. We can dive in, see, what they're doing on their business, help them map out a YouTube ad strategy. But I also, of course, have my YouTube channel, Aleric Heck. constantly posting videos. I actually just did a video where I talked about my top 5 favorite business podcasts. And of course, Business Lunch was on that list. It was the second podcast I talked about. So, obviously giving a shout out there as well. But I'm constantly posting videos on my YouTube channel, teaching people, broke down my $10 million funnel actually recently, YouTube ads. But yeah, anybody who's looking to scale with YouTube ads, with video marketing, with omnipresent retargeting, we've got lots of free resources on our website, on the YouTube channel. You can find me on Facebook, all the socials as well. But yeah, we're loving to help people with YouTube ads, with video marketing, organic everywhere, and then also omnipresent retargeting as well.
And then do you focus mostly on training people and their teams to do it, or do you also run ads and act as an agency for people too?
This is a great question. So we are a hybrid. We are a done with you process, which is something I deeply believe in. I am on a mission to empower entrepreneurs to take marketing back into their own hands. And so instead of having, agencies kind of manage everything for them, and there's good agencies out there, but the problem is there's only a small number that are really good. And then on the other side, trying to figure things out on your own, everybody knows there's a massive learning curve. And so what we want to do is we want to bring this back into the hands of entrepreneurs and business owners by working with their team to implement and help them with YouTube ads. So we actually want to work together to help entrepreneurs learn how to use YouTube ads, but actually help them set it up. So we got copywriters on our team. They'll help them write the scripts. We've got people in our team that will help them set up the campaigns. So we're not just teaching people how to fish. We're actually standing beside them, helping them cast, maybe casting the first few throws, but then showing them, here's how you reel it in. So working together. And I saw a big need in the market. There's a lot of people that have agencies. There's a lot of courses. We work together with clients.
I love that model, and it's one that we're in the process of using ourselves. So if you guys want any kind of personal endorsement here, this guy knows what he's talking about. You should definitely check him out. And they're just also, in addition to being just a super nice guy, right? You're also just a good human. We like that. So thank you for coming on today. Really, really appreciate it, Aleric. And you guys can reach out, adoutreach.com. And check him out. And thank you for being here. Thank you guys for watching or listening to Business Lunch. If you like this, we always appreciate the 5-star reviews. We always appreciate you featuring us in your top favorite podcasts like Aleric did. And definitely subscribe because you don't want to miss out on this stuff. We'll see you guys next time.